I hit the button and I didn't hit the right button. Thank you for mentioning that. So this is just a feedback on our session, just going around and hearing from each person. Like, how was this for you? What's the benefits, or any suggestions for, let's say, improvements or effectiveness to build on what Matt was saying. So we can go around. Anybody want to start? And so just a feedback. What did you like, or what do you wish for? And what the heck, I'll start. I like every time I do an empathy circle, I learn something new, and I like the direction, going towards like, what can we really do? So not just for the philosophizing, but to start thinking about things that we can do. So we did a little bit of that, and I think that's something we could maybe even have a session at the end, more like the last half hour is like, okay, what are we actually going to do? What can we do to be, more effective? So yeah, that's just a couple thoughts. Sure, Matt?
Yeah, I think it's been great. It's been really cool. I like the format, and when you and I were at the convention, we were chatting about this. It's nice in that it's sort of a middle ground between just wildly free-flowing conversation, and on the other end, you have extremely rigid conversation in the form of, like, if you ever watch a legislative body or a committee proceed, they have parliamentary procedure, and it's procedurally paralyzing, if you will. This is kind of in the middle, that it at least provides some sort of structure, and it's structure with a particular aim, obviously empathy. So I like that aspect of it. But I do find myself, obviously any structure is going to be limiting by its nature. But one thing I find myself kind of desiring is, if there is a person who is saying something and you want more information about it, or want to know their experience more. For example, William, has worked in this area before, so he's somewhat familiar with things. This structure doesn't really allow me to follow up with questions like, okay, where is this working? How much does it cost? What do you think we can do? The more back and forth kind of. Is there any opportunity for maybe after the session is over, a more free-flowing conversation, or for a person to perhaps follow up with one other participant offline and take the conversation further? Do you ever do any such thing?
No, we haven't. We can. We can share emails, or connect. You could put an email into the chat window here if there's someone that you'd like to connect with. So I would say that just as a point of reference, that when it is your turn, you can follow up when it comes to your turn. So that there is a sort of a follow-up you can do there, but it's not a direct back and forth. Yeah.
Okay. So, thank you.
And we'll make notes of this too. So next, Carolina, would you be willing to go?
We are making Matt a kind of meeting star, but I appreciate his approach, that he tried to make us being more down to earth, more concrete. I appreciate that, because it's like saying to us, hey, stop philosophizing and start to talk about real things. And I appreciate that. Still, I have a lot of doubts about the numbers. I have to learn more. And I'm practicing, okay? I'm practicing not only empathy circle, but also my language skills. That's what happens to me. I hope I will be better and better in both those things. Yeah, that's from me.
Okay, thanks. Jyoti, would you like to go?
I forgot to ask. I wanted to ask Matt if he knew the numbers of the expenditure on military in comparison to the social services you're outlining.
So you had kind of like follow-up questions then. So you're kind of similar to Matt, you're having follow-up questions.
Yeah, it's just something I meant to work into my turns and I forgot. But I found today's talk at another quality and deeper level. I think it's, and I attribute that to what Matt brought. It was very enriching. I'm very pleased with coming away with a very enriching experience here.
Okay, great. Evan?
Yeah, I'm really glad we had a little bit more diversity of positions. Just to quickly answer, it looks like 623 billion for defense spending for 2018. So it looks like it's always around the 600 billion thing, 600 billion mark. But that's just a quick Google. Maybe there's something I'm missing there. What else? Yeah, I've always been asking for more sort of action, like I'm always sort of asking, what can I do as sort of, just the average citizen who, this isn't really my full-time job or anything to look into, how to fix the system and everything, but wanting to do what I can and see if there's easy, accessible ways, so I'm always hoping for people who are slightly more motivated than me to just give me a link or something, some little action I can do here and then share that. But yeah, enjoyable as always.
Okay, thanks. Bill? You're muted.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I really enjoy this. That it's in my personal training. I'm trying to do more circles and to sort of get very facile with it. So I appreciate it. It's I appreciate the level of dedication everybody brings to this. I really, really appreciate it. I see that other people I put my email in. Anybody's free to email me if they wish. And I just want to express my appreciation. Thank you. And to Carolina, I would be very sad if you decided not to keep on struggling, because I would miss you.
Okay, well, thanks everyone. I will say, in terms just adding kind of the final part in terms of the action component, I like to do action. I do see the doing of the empathy circle and the replication of it is a very active part. So the more we can become facilitators, we have a training that's starting in half an hour here. We have a training group and we'll be doing more of these trainings so you can become a facilitator and replicate it, these dialogues, and to spread them and make them more effective. So I'll just mention that as well. So okay, with that, thank you very much, and we'll stop the recording.